morning to you all. I hope that you guys all woke up grateful, and I hope that you've set a high vibe. And I hope that you've reminded yourself of all of the things that you have to be grateful for. And I hope that when you're seeing a limit, it's a time to get creative. And I hope that when you're seeing an obstacle, you're pushing past it. Okay? It's a time to grow. It's time to evolve as a person. It's a time to learn about yourself. All right? And I hope you're really practicing the pause. I really hope that, you're not letting things sway you the way that, we have allowed things to sway us in the past. Okay? Now, I had mentioned a couple of times on the live, numerous times, about numerous things. Okay? About number one, listening to people and what they're telling us. Number two, if you want to assess the people in your life, well, take a look at what they're telling you. Okay? And I want to bring this to clarity this morning because, look, we all have situations in our life that don't make us feel that good. Okay, now what do we do with that? That's what I want you guys to take a look at. When things are happening and you're not feeling so well about them, what do you do? All right? And we love to make excuses for people. We really do. Oh, they did this because of this. Or they did this because of that. You know what? There's one simple way to determine how somebody's acting towards you. Okay? Now, this is how you can judge it. Way deeper than any words that they can tell you and any actions they can show you. Okay? You have to be clear within yourself in this light. Look, if you're sitting in a state of love for yourself and for your life, and you're no longer living in survival, because survival produces, hey, fear, right? It's a threat. So what happens? Well, our body naturally produces a reaction of fight, flight, or freeze. Now, if somebody is living in survival mode and all they're producing for their reactions in their life is fight, flight, or freeze, well, then you can't expect anything different from them. Okay? It's as simple as that. So, how you got to gauge your interactions with people is whether these people are still in a state of survival, or are they alive? And are they awakened to the truest nature of their being? Okay? And that says a lot. That really says quite a bit. Okay? You can tell when somebody's doing inner healing or not. You can tell if somebody's resistant to it. And you can also tell if somebody's stuck in their own excuses and reasons for being the way that they are. Okay? But that, again, is their choice. All right? We can't choose things for other people. But what we can do is choose what we allow in our own lives. Okay? Now, when we're stressed out and we have 1,000,001 things happening and we have people making shitty choices for us, that is when we just have to kind of say, hey, are these people still living in survival? Don't make excuses for that. Because again, that is the other person's choice. So again, this morning, I'm going to say it. Judge your interactions with people. Because I encouraged everybody about 2 weeks ago, take out the trash in your life. Seriously. Take out whatever doesn't make you feel good. And you can do that. You can choose to do that. You don't have to live in any other state than in harmony and alignment with yourself once you've reached that point. And that is on you. Okay? And I encourage you all to do it because I myself am doing it. I'm one that loves to communicate. I believe that communication is the key to settling everything. I believe that nothing should fly off the handle to a fight or an argument. I believe with healthy communication, anything can be worked out between two individuals. But if you guys are in relationships that don't make you feel good, or if you're at work and there's interpersonal, and there's interactions that aren't making you feel good, don't get caught in the situation. Take that step back and practice the pause, okay? Practice the pause in this light. Look and see whether this other person is still in survival or if they are a loving person, okay? Because when you're coming from a place of love, you're coming from a place of trust, okay? So you're not fearful. If you're in line with yourself and you're in tune with what is fueling you, which is infinite, unconditional love, well, then you shouldn't be fearful of anything. Of anything. No fear whatsoever. And it's hard to say that because you know what? Even as I'm like to think I'm in alignment. Yes, there are situations and things that happen that trigger fear within me. Why? Because of past traumas, past hurts. But if I practice the pause, I don't get triggered anymore. Why? Because I understand what's going on. Okay? And when we fly off the handle, the understanding doesn't happen because we're caught in that emotional state of it all. And I've mentioned that before too, not allowing your emotions to override you, because once you harness that and breathe and allow your automatic systems to work for you, the logic kicks in. Now, why people can't get clear or why people can't see logic of things is because they're caught up in their own emotions. Okay? I encourage you all today to take out the trash in your life. Okay? No matter what it is. Doesn't matter what title the other person carries in your life. If they truly, really, really care about what's going on with you, they're not going to be making bad choices for you. And they're not going to be throwing their stress on you. And they're not going to be throwing their issues on you or coming to you to figure anything out. Seriously. Okay? We can all support people. We can all help people, yes. But when it comes down to an infliction of something we don't feel good about, we need to clean it up. And that's on us. Because you see, if anytime you don't feel good about anything and you don't correct that within your being or correct that with the other person, you store that within your being. And it makes you sick. So, I encourage you all to find your voice and communicate and talk. And if you feel like you can't get through to the other person, sit back and pause and just analyze. Take the emotion out of it, seek the learning. What is it that you're trying to learn? I'm going to be very real. I seek learning every day. So, because today is a brand new day and I'm a brand new person, well, I'm seeking more learning today, like I do every day. And that's on me. Yeah, my life isn't easy, but nobody's is. Okay? Not one of us has it easier than another. Okay? And that is because it is all unique to our journeys, what we're supposed to learn here, and what lessons we're supposed to acquire and move on with. Okay? Now, why have I geared myself to learning all my life? Well, because it's to do these kind of things. To help others come out of suffering. Okay? It's as simple as that. I suffered in my life. I suffered all my life until I said, hey, suffering is a choice. I got way too comfortable in suffering because that's what my life was comprised of. But That was up until then. Okay? That's no longer a part of my being. Yes, those things happened, but the only place those things are stored is in my own being. Now I can organize the shelves in my mind, or it can be a bag of clutter. So, this is why I have even learned and the self mastery program. And hey, I had to go really deep and look at all the things that I didn't want to see. Yeah, there's been a lot of great stuff, but there's been a lot of terrible stuff too. So that terrible stuff I couldn't harness anymore in my being. Okay? And that's why I encourage you all, put yourselves first. Okay? That, you know what? Limits, hey, for a long time, limits freaked me out. I don't like to feel limited ever, no matter what. But limits used to really hiccup my life. And I had a lot of obstacles and challenges all the time. It's like that's what my life has been comprised of. Okay, smooth sailing for me, well, hey, I'm only now learning what that is. But that's my choice. Anyway, because I'm doing the live this morning from the computer, I don't see if anybody's out there. I don't see if you guys have left any comments, but I will see them after. So just to let you guys know that also. But look, just because I've managed to heal my immune system, just because I've managed to get my face back, it doesn't mean that my life is all beautiful. The reason why it's beautiful is because I create it to be like that in my own mind. Okay? We all have things that we have to get through, and we all have things that we have to handle and deal with. But it's how are we handling those things? I encourage you all to be loving to yourself first, no matter what. I encourage you all to listen to what people are telling you. Okay? And that's changed a lot for me. Okay? In every aspect of my life. I have now really started to listen to what the energies are telling me, to listen to what my heart is telling me, listen to how my soul is guiding me for the first time in my life. Now, I can't sit there and make excuses for what knowledge or what I understand, or I can't make excuses for another person to allow them to do whatever they feel is okay with me. No. I have to be firm and strong in my own footing for myself first. Yes, I have kids. Yes, I have a grandchild. But listen, it's not about them. In order for them to be okay, I need to be okay. I had it twisted for a long time. Put my kids first, put everybody else first, do everything, you know what I mean? And Tobi on the back burner. No, it didn't. It only produced sickness. Right? You know, they tell us all that time, you know, in that airplane, you know, give yourself the oxygen first before the child. Because without you being okay, well, then you can't be there for the child. Well, you know what? That should be a constant learning. Okay? We need to put ourselves first. Okay? It doesn't matter. You know, like, as long as we're okay, everything else is okay. But when we're not okay, nothing is okay. So, I encourage you all to begin building your being okay. How do you do that? Well, you heal the stuff that's inflicting your life. Like when you sit there in silence, well, that's another thing. If you can. Because silence for most people is very uncomfortable. So, if you can sit in silence and take a look at who you believe yourself to be today and look back on your life, Well, if you can look back on your life and nothing upsets you, well, okay, move forward. But if there's anything that makes you feel emotional, correct that. Seriously. Because if you don't, you're harnessing yourself to stuff that you just don't want to carry forward. I did that for so long. This is why I encourage you guys to change. I look back on my life and I said, oh God, this is what it's been. How am I ever supposed to have a good life? What does that mean? How am I supposed to love myself? What does that mean? Okay? Because I had so much in my being that I didn't like. So how can you love yourself unconditionally when you look at so much that's wrong with you? Well, I soon found that all of these things that I believed to be wrong about me were not the things and ideas and thoughts that I planted there. Okay? And that was huge for me. And I think that was one of my first realizations, like, hey, I am not what everybody has made me to be. I encourage you all to get real with yourselves. Okay? If there's any interaction in your life that's not making you feel right, there's a reason for it. And every time you allow it to happen, it gets louder and louder and louder until you learn. Like, yes, I'm not exempt from that. If I don't catch the lesson, I see myself in the same recurring pattern. But I also see that. And when I see that, I don't beat myself up for that. I say, okay, I missed something here. Because it keeps happening. So if it keeps happening, I have missed a lesson in that. So I seek out more learning. And I embrace the fact that I will have to relive situations over and over until I get the learning right. Because that's how it works. Anyway, guys, I encourage you today. I'm going to get off the live. I've got some things to do. I encourage you today. Own your greatness. Own your power. Don't give that to any person, place, situation, nothing. Okay? If you're not standing up for yourself, nobody is. Understand that. Don't delegate your wellness to the hands of anybody. And don't make your wellness dependent on anything else other than yourself. That's what I encourage you all to do today. Okay? When people and situations are not making you feel right, figure it out why. There's a lesson in that. They're not good, they're not bad. But it does give you a feeling. And that's your inner compass. Listen to it. Okay? It will guide you. And if you find yourself in the recurring situations of the repetitive same over and over and over and over again, well, you've missed the learning. Okay? And I want you guys to understand that. And that's okay. But go back to that situation and look at it. Okay? That's what I encourage you all to do. Seriously. Take a good look at yourselves. Because that's how we learn what we have to unlearn. If you don't look at it, you will never know. And you can't blame your parents, and you can't blame your family, and you can't blame the things that have happened to you. You have to embrace it all. Okay? But that from there, try to sit in silence with yourself. Ask yourself what it is that is blocking you from going on. What it is, ask yourself, what is it that's blocking me from having my truest heart desires? But do you know what your heart is telling you? Or are you too caught in your thoughts? That's another question. Allow yourself to feel. Don't think. Thinking is a place of the past. Simple. Why? Because it's every memory stored in your subconscious brain from the first time you took your first breath. Okay? Seriously. So that's where your thinking comes from. Now, if you've had a traumatized life and a hard life, hey, well then all of your decisions in that thinking method and way come from there. Do you want that? Do you want to create more of what your life has been? Because that's a guaranteed way to do it. It's to think about it. Because our thoughts, again, like I say, come from a memory bank. Now, what's your memory bank? Because we all have trauma. Because why? We were born into a fearful society with fearful parents that were living in survival. Simple. They weren't awakened to their truest nature of their being. But that doesn't mean that you can't awaken to your truest nature of your being and turn around and awaken them. Okay? Change is needed, but it's the individual change that's going to produce the mass change. Okay? Seriously. And I encourage you all to do it because you guys are all great and you guys are all greatness. Like, hey, I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud of myself that I've healed. I'm proud of myself that I'm getting on every day. I'm proud of myself that, hey, I finally have done the walk of, 10 blocks with the dogs that in a fast pace again this morning for the first time. I haven't been able to do that up until now. But did I beat myself up? Did I, well, this and that and make excuses? And no. Own your greatness. Move on. Every day is a new day. Don't bring anything from yesterday forward unless it's something positive. And if there's something that makes you not feel good, correct it. You have to fix it. Because we put our own blockages in the way of tapping into our truest power. How do I know that? Because I did that. My blockages were, I hated myself. I shamed my life. I blamed my parents. I couldn't stand the judgment of all my family. And that produced really terrible shit. But that's not who I am. Okay? None of it. Yes, I had to live it, but that does not define who I am. That may have existed in my experience of life, but that is not existed in my heart. That's the difference. Okay? I encourage you all today to get the most out of it. Why? Because you matter the most in your experience. Nobody else does. You're the creator of your experience, and you can have absolutely anything you want. But what are you creating for yourself? Okay? Be unconditionally loving to yourself and others, always. No matter what, because that's on you. If somebody else is not receiving of it or giving of that to you, don't worry about it. Okay? Because that's on them. And what another thinks of you, well, that's their business. All right? Why do people hate us? Well, because they cannot do what we do. All right? So, that's okay. You got to love yourself unconditionally and not worry about what another is doing, saying, thinking, acting, or feeling towards you. Seriously. You have to own your greatness in such a way that nothing matters. Take out the trash out of your life. Okay? You see, I mentioned it the other morning too, the way, you cut the dead ends off your hair. Cut the dead ends out of your life. Seriously. Anything that's leading to a dead end for you, hey, that's not the path to be walking on. Okay? Serious. Don't speak for another. What do I mean by that? Don't excuse somebody else's actions, words, or anything that they're doing towards you. Don't. And if you make them aware that that doesn't make you feel good and you don't see the changes, well, then I'm sorry to tell you, that's another dead end that has to be clipped. Okay? Own your voice. Tell people things. Tell people, stand up for yourself. Show up for yourself. Because if you don't, nobody will. Understand that. It's not about anybody else. Doesn't matter what title and what meaning you give them in your life. Got to be okay within yourself, or nothing else works. Seriously. All right? I encourage you all this morning to just get it right. Get it right. You know? Honestly, put yourselves first, no matter how. And you know what? When I started saying no to people, I really, truly, genuinely saw who was there for me, okay? So start saying no to people. Don't give things of your time and your space and your emotional capacity if you're trying to fix you, okay? Seriously. Anyway, I love you all. I want you to get the most out of your day. I want you guys to set a high vibe. Don't see a limit as a limit. See it as a time that's the time you're supposed to tap into your creative power. Seriously. Obstacles are not obstacles. They're a time and an opportunity to grow, to learn about yourself, okay? To master your being, because you're the creator of your experience. So I hate to tell all of you that are sitting out there going, oh, but my life is hard. Well, because you've made it that way. Simple. Doesn't matter what's been inflicted on us. You either get over all of that and use it to guide you, or you stay stuck in it and keep telling yourself you're having a hard life. And that's what you're going to manifest for yourself. Okay? Anyway, I'm all over the place this morning, yeah, because I just have a lot to say this morning. There's, but hey, I'm going through it too, guys. You're not the only ones. I'm going through it too. And just because you think I've healed, well, no, because you know something, I am in a state of having to compromise with another individual who is not in their truest nature. Simple. Okay? I encourage you all to put yourselves first. Why? Because you matter the most in your experience. How could you not? You're the one driving it. You're the one creating it. You're the one manifesting everything that happens. And, a series of simple, small choices every single day. Yeah, we have feelings. Yeah, we have things we have to deal with. But yeah, we also have the capacity to get over all of that. Okay? I love y'all. Get the most out of your day. Set a high vibe. Love yourself unconditionally. Learn as much as you can. It's going to make you a better person. And you know what the majority of the problem is? Is that a lot of people sit back and say, well, I'm already a good person and I don't need to change. But those are the ones that are so stuck in the thick of the shit, they don't even see it. Everybody needs to change. Everybody needs to grow. There's not one person that has been bred since their first breath to be that unconditionally loving person. But now we can bring that. Okay? So change is needed. Anyway, I encourage you all to get it right. Set yourselves first. Everybody that's got kids out there, remember one thing today. These kids are learning more from what they're observing, okay, from you, than what you are actually teaching them. So, be that stand-up, loving person to yourself first, and teach your children how to love themselves unconditionally. Okay? Love you all. Get the most out of your day. All right? Peace.